give Father all the esteem and honor. I know you're wondering, I sang so hard, I've been praising because He brought me out of darkness into His marvelous light. I used to sing about something else. Didn't understand what I was singing about. But now I have an understanding about what I'm singing about. And so when you know who you're praising, when you know who you're worshiping, it comes from the depths of your heart. We say, "Uhatap et Yehovah Elohecha." Uhatap et Yehovah Elohecha, the call, the Babaka, with all our hearts. Ubakal, with all our soul. Ubakal, with all our mind, our muchness, with everything within us. Hallelujah. Worship. We should pray. We should do everything. Hallelujah. Can somebody give me Revelation 6, starting at the 9th verse? We're going to read to the end. And it goes with the next song we're going to say. As we're getting ready for the end, we're at the great day.
Yes, it is.
Revelation 6, starting at the 9th verse.
Revelation, the 6th chapter, verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them who were slain on account of the word of Yahuwah, and on the account of the testimony of the Lamb, which was with them. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Yahuwah, thou set apart and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And to each one of them was given a white robe, and it was told to them that they must be quiet, yet a little while, until the consummation of their fellow servants and brethren who are to be killed as they have been. And I looked, and when I opened the sixth seal, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black like sackcloth of hair, and the whole moon became like blood.
Yes.
And the stars of heaven fell on the earth as a fig tree casteth its unripe figs, when it is shaken by a strong wind. And the heavens separated as a book is rolled up, and the mountains and islands were removed out of their place. And the kings of the earth, and the nobles, and the captains of thousands, and the rich men, and the men of valor, and every servant and free man, hid himself in caves and the clefts of the mountains. And they said to the mountains and to the clefts, Fall over us, and hide us from the face of him who sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Father. And the great day of their wrath is come, and who is able to stand?
Who is able to stand? God is preparing us for this great day. Everybody not going to make it. We want to get the ones that do. So we can rehearse it right now. That's what God is giving us for this great day. God is ready. God is ready. Oh, God is ready. God is ready. Oh, God is ready. This song is called Greater is He that is in us than he that is in the world. So when you're going through any trials, just remember that he's already taken care of it for us. One, you want to throw them a note in there?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
This together, then I'll.
Oh, then I'll hold it.
Okay, we're going to stand out and face the east. We're going to go so far 7 times.
Heavenly Father, Yahuwah, we just thank you for this our gathering on this last great day. We ask that you just be with us and just help us be on one accord and let the Ruach work through us. Allow the lesson of the words to be heard, just to reach our souls, and just allow the brothers and sisters here to receive it with great cheer, great humbleness in our hearts. And we just ask all these things to your Son, Yashra'al, Mashiach, we pray. Love Yahuwah.
Alright, so Shabbat Shalom. So, before we get started, how many people are, this first year, first time doing Sukkot? Okay, no problem. So, I just want to which way direction I was going to go with this. Alright, so what I'll do is, I'm going to try my best to keep it a certain way. Alright, so if something goes somewhere and you say, hey, I don't get it, just let me know. Just raise your hand. Okay? Outside of that, I'm going to try my best. Alright, hallelujah. Alright, so with the veterans, where would we normally start to share about the Feast of Sukkot?
Leviticus?
Where? Huh?
Leviticus 23?
Leviticus 23. Okay? So we're going to read that now, and then we're going to go over some parts in different places to share with you some other things that we might want to consider as we start to grow in Sukkot. All right? So first we're going to go to Leviticus chapter 23, starting at verse 34. Okay? 23, 34. We'll go through 41. Okay? All right. So it says, speak unto the children of Yashra'al, and say, the 15th day, this 7th month, shall be the feast of Sukkot, or tabernacles. 7 days unto Yahuwah. On the first day shall be a set-apart convocation. You shall do no servile work therein. 7 days you shall offer an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. On the 8th day shall be a set-apart convocation unto you, and you shall offer an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. It is a solemn assembly, and you shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts, the Moed, of Yahuwah, which you shall proclaim to be set-apart convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, a burnt offering, and a meat offering, a sacrifice, and as Eliyahu brought, a drink offering. A libation offering. Just keep that in mind. All right. So we have to partake. I don't want y'all to feel like, out of place when we get into that. All right? Everything upon his day. Besides the Shabbats of Yahuwah, besides your gift, and listen, beside all your vows. Okay? And besides all your free will offerings which you give unto Yahuwah. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when you have gathered in the fruits of the land, you shall keep a feast unto Yahuwah 7 days. On the first day shall be a Shabbaton or a Shabbat, and on the 8th day shall be a Shabbaton or a Shabbat. And you shall take you on the first day of the bow of good trees, which is a fruit tree. So I want you all to pay attention to what's being used for sukkah. Right? So you're going to have a fruit tree, branches of palm trees, and a bow of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And you shall rejoice before Yahuwah Elohim 7 days. Okay? And verse 41 it says, and you shall keep it as a feast unto Yahuwah 7 days, and a year it shall be a statute forever in your generation. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Now, how many of us made a sukkah like this before? Huh? Okay. So we see that there's a way that they made their sukkah. All right. Now, they didn't go to Walmart and get themselves a nice tent or a palace like such as the one we had. Okay. But the point is we're practicing. All right. We're practicing. All right. But we're going to see a little bit more into that as well. But what I wanted to pay close attention to is 3 things. One, you heard in verse 34, it's a feast. Right? And the Hebrew word there is Chag. Right? Everyone agrees. Chag. Second time you see the word feast, dealing with verse 37, you see a moedim or moedid, right? Now, my next question though to you is going to be in verse 41. It says, you shall celebrate it in the 7th month. That word celebrate is chagag. So what's a chagag? Now, yes, it's the root word for the word feast. Okay? All right, let's get them strongs out. I'm with you. All right. Dance.
Festival, celebrate.
Okay? So I want us to understand that this is a time that they marched in circles, they danced, they celebrated. That's what this is about. All right? So this is not the time to be mourning, so to speak. We'll read about that in just a minute. But understand that this is a feast, but it's a type of feast that's supposed to be a celebration. Now, does anyone know why this is the time to do a Haggadah? Who knows?
We're leaving.
Huh?
We're getting ready to leave.
Where you going? Okay.
This is when he dwells among you, right?
Huh?
This is when he dwells among you.
Okay. This will be a time where he will be with us.
Yeah.
You know, remember, wipe away the tears, everyone's familiar with all this is supposed to take place, right? All right, hallelujah. Keep that in mind, we'll revisit that in just a minute. All right, let's go to Devarim or Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 13. Okay, Devarim or Deuteronomy chapter 16, starting at verse 13.
Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine.
Okay, now, that word there, wine, it's not yayin there, but this is the wine press. Okay, this is the wine press. Now, I'm not causing anyone to be alcoholics today. Okay, I'm just sharing with you that they had this during this feast, that this was a celebration. All right? Go to verse 17. Now listen to who's going to be there is the key here. We're going to see this again. So listen to who's going to be at this particular celebration?
Every man shall give as he is able, according to the favor of the sovereign thy Elohim, which he hath given thee.
Okay, we're going to read verse 14.
Verse 14? Did you get it? Okay.
Yeah, 14 through 17.
Oh, 14 through 17.
17 sounds good now, don't get me wrong.
And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates.
Okay. Everyone see who else will be here?
Everybody.
Everybody's going to be there. It's going to be attached or going to be a part of Yashra'al. Keep that in mind. Sometimes we read and say, oh, it's not going to be nobody else. Just us. Okay? But understand that there's going to be a process in which this Sukkot is going to take place. But we want to see who's going to be there. So me shunning because I don't think you're part of this and part of that, we can't do that. Okay? We don't have the right to do that. All right? Based off of skin color and things like that. Okay? Keep going.
7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the sovereign thy Elohim, in the place which the sovereign hath chosen. Because thy sovereign thy Elohim shall favor thee in all thine increase, and in all the works of thine hand. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. 3 times in a year shall all thy males appear before the sovereign Elohim in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the sovereign empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the favor of the sovereign Elohim which he has given thee.
Hallelujah. Okay. Any questions about that?
No.
Everyone's good.
Leave it be.
Okay. So there are 2 places mentioned outside of this feast of Sukkot that you hear the word Sukkot or Sukkah. Is anyone familiar with the 2? 2 places outside of the feast. Okay. No worries. We're going to read about it. So in the first case we have Yaakov and Jacob. He was on his way back to the promised land. What did he do? He divided his tribes into 2 tribes. Remember that? Because he's about to come see Esau, his brother. So he started dividing the tribes up. Okay, keep that in mind. And then he reunited them after he dealt with Esau. Then he wound up going towards the promised land, which I would love to talk about that prophecy. All right. Now, the second place was when Israel came out of Mitzrayim or Egypt. Remember they went to a place called Okay? Now, these are not the same places, but I'm sharing with you there are 2 places that talks about it. And where was Israel on their way going to? Okay? They also were going to the promised land. Alright? So, I want us to see that this happened for cleansing. Now, since we're talking about the 7th month, and understand what they were doing is leaving, when they left out Mitzrayim, they were being cleansed. Everyone's familiar with this story? The Sea of Reeds, something called the Red Sea, Yom Suf. They went through there, they were cleansed. And if you don't know about that, you can also read in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, 1 through 4. We're not going there. Now, next we want to understand is when they were about to get married, right? What did they have to do? Okay? So keep this in mind. Now, does anyone know, since this is the 7th month, was there any other cleansing that happened on the 7th month that you guys can remember?
Atonement.
Okay? Before then? Before then?
Unleavened feast 2 weeks.
Before then?
Pesach.
Before then? 7th month. Let's look at Bereshit, or Genesis chapter 8, verse 2 through 4. Oh yes. Now, it says, the fountains, also the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. After the end of the 150th day, the waters were abated, and the ark today? Oh, we have the fall on Sukkot. Okay, so again, we're not going over some prophecy. I'm just giving you something you guys should consider. As we talk about cleansing. The fall feast, talk about his awakening, which we'll read in just a minute. There's an awakening that takes place. Now, after you're awake, that don't mean you go idle. Okay? You awake, you say, thank you, Father. I'm going to Red Lobster. I'm going everywhere but what he tells me to do. Is that what we're supposed to do? No. All right, so once we awake, what's the next stage?
Obedience.
Okay, so you awake, you say, hey, I want to be obedient. What else happens? Atonement. What all is in atonement? Everyone knows? Okay, forgiveness, repentance, and cleansing. All right? So when you cleanse something, now listen, I think, now I'm not in everybody's showers and bathrooms and things like that, but when you take a bath, and you take a shower, something's supposed to come off you. What is that?
Dirt.
That dirt, right? Now you washed it off for a reason, correct? All right, same concept for your sins. Same concept for your brother and your sister. We done clean all of that nonsense off. Now, we should be happy because when you come out the bathroom, don't act like you guys don't do it, being there for about 2-3 hours, put lotion on, smiling in the mirror, doing all this great stuff, right? Because you feel good, right? So that's the same concept. Now for tabernacle time, it's time to dance. It's time to shout, I'm clean. But if you don't feel clean, if you're going through your atonement, you're going to pass atonement, you didn't get things right, you shouldn't feel clean. You shouldn't feel that way. Okay, it's time to get it right. Everyone's with me so far?
Yeah.
All right. And so we can learn of these two events that can help us understand the Feast of Sukkot. In the first scenario, the tribes were divided and reunited before the time of Sukkot. His name was changed. Anyone remember the story? Okay, Jacob, name changed from Jacob to Israel. Okay, good. Okay, everyone knows that we will have a new name? Okay, great. Second scenario, they were washed or had a cleansing that took place. Everyone was atoned for it. They were ready for the marriage. Okay, same thing is supposed to happen with us. All right. So these two Sukkot scenarios help us to see what's happening in Sukkot. Does everyone follow me? Everyone's tracking? Okay, great. We'll find out in just a minute because I got questions. All right. So I put in both scenarios. They were on their way to the promised land to dwell with Yahuwah. Even though these places are called Sukkot, we know that they were in different locations. But I wanted you to share that there's a mirror or parallel between two feasts that have the same precept. Anyone knows what they are? So there's one that has one, and then it's attached for 7 days. Pesach, right? You have the lamb. Day 1, and then 7 days of unleavened bread. Okay, what's that all about? Just off the top. You have to be in depth. Clean yourself up, get all that leaven out?
The house and everything.
Oh, okay. So you notice on both sides there's some cleansing going on, right? They're trying to let you know something. There's two bookends of one another, right? Now, the other one is, as we said, is tabernacle. What are you doing for these 7 days?
Supposed to be cleaning up and being a house, right?
Okay.
Presence of the Most
Okay,
High.
at the end is in Gavin. Good. What else we got? And then the last great day. So you notice there's
Judgment?
close.
Set apart gathering.
Okay. Where's all these veterans at? Okay. All right. So these are bookends, right? Put like this here. There's 1 day in Pesach, right? And then 7 for matzah, right? The bread. You got 7 days for Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot, and then you got the last great day. Those 7 days, so they both start on the same day, different month, right? But both of them start. One is the first month, 15th day. Other one's the 7th month, 15th day. And we'll see how they work together. All right, so I'm not going to make it just too hard. I was going to trap you guys, but I see that won't work. All right. All right, so both have 8-day events, meaning Pesach on 1 day. Shemini, all right? the day and one day, which is the 8th day, both are attached to the feast that starts on the 15th. And both feasts, who can and will take part in it? In both.
Men.
Men say?
Everybody.
You should see your, you should be upset. So I thought I done taught her something. It's okay, Aki. Listen, we talk offline. She tried that. Hallelujah. Okay?
That's what, circumcised?
The servants, all the people that were listening.
Well, you got to keep your head up, man. It's okay.
The stranger,
Okay, now we get somewhere. Who can be there?
Everybody.
Everybody can be there.
All those who follow the Most
Huh?
All those who follow the Most High.
All those who follow the Most High? Okay.
Fatherless, the widows.
Man servants, maid servants.
the strangers.
Okay. Remember I told you we're going to come right back to it.
But does that mean then that the stranger has to be circumcised?
Of course, yeah. We'll see it in a minute, but yeah. They have no choice. Remember the Abrahamic covenant is attached to Messiah.
Then that means to be the same for
Uh-oh, speaking in tongues. Talk to me, brother.
that means it'd be the same for the next. Yeah, they would have to be circumcised. Or they should.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They have to be. There's no choice.
It'd be the same thing with tabernacles.
Hmm?
It'd be the same with
We'll
tabernacles.
see in just a minute.
Okay.
Okay? We'll see in just a minute because there's a requirement for circumcision for Pesach, right? Everyone agrees?
Yeah.
All right. The last great day is also a eighth day. There's a circumcision, right?
Yes.
And this is the circumcision of the heart. Okay. And then Ezekiel says you have one be in the flesh for the men, and then in the heart for everybody else. Living with me. All right, that's why they can do it. But we'll see that later on. All right, so I said the stranger and those attached to Yashra'al. Notice that we have requirements for Pesach. If you guys want to read that, you can see Exodus chapter 12, 49 through 51. Talks about the stranger being circumcised that sojourns with Israel. Okay, with Yashra'al. Okay, it said, notice who takes part in Sukkot. Also, it says, stranger, widows. See that? All right, so everyone sees on both ends, it's working the same way here. All right, one gathering, and there will be another, and the later gatherings, you will read that in Revelation chapter 7, verse 9, we'll keep going. All right, Exodus chapter 34, verse 22 through 23, and then we're going to go back to Exodus chapter 23, verse 16 and 17. All right, so I did it in that order for a reading. So Exodus 34, 22 and 23. And then from there, we're going to go to Exodus 23, verse 16 and 17. Okay? How we doing? We all right? Who's old school here? Okay, I just want to make sure I don't want to go too fast. So old school, those are when you hear those papers going by to the left, to the right. That's the old school. Okay, got it. It's okay, I just want to make sure. So say the Pettis family is old school. I got it. Daughters. Okay, I got it. I understand. Electronics is out the window. Okay, hey, we good. We'll keep it. I'll keep that in mind. All right. So 34:22 says, "And you shall observe the feast of weeks, and of the first fruit of wheat harvest, and the feast of ingathering at the year's end. 3 times in a year shall all your men children appear before Adonai Yahuwah, the Elohim of Yashra'al." Okay, everyone sees that, right? 3 times. Another name now we're thinking about for Sukkot, we're also thinking about the gathering. All right, keep that in mind. 23:16. It's okay. I'll let y'all turn the pages. Trust me, they're doing really quiet. Keep watching me. It's okay. Turn. 23:16. All right, here we go. So it says, "And the feast of what?" Highlight that. Feast of harvest. The first fruits of your labor, highlight, which you have sown in the field, highlight, and the feast of ingathering, highlight, which is in the end of the year, when you have gathered in your labors out of the field 3 times in a year, all your males shall appear before Yahuwah. All right? So everyone sees this here. What I want to share just a little bit, I'm just going to touch on it, is in these feasts or appointed times, it helps us to see bigger plans of Yahuwah. These earthly appointments help us see spiritual appointments. Example, we read harvest, labor, gathering, in year and field. Everyone saw those things, correct? Great. So let's go to Matthew. So Matthew chapter 9, verse 36 to verse 38. Everyone's with me, so I haven't strayed from nobody's mind yet, right? You good? All right. It's okay. If not, you can raise your hand and say like this and put it back down, and no one will know.
Matthew 9, 40.
No, Matthew chapter 9, verse 36 through 38. Now remember what we read in Shemot. We hear about harvest, we hear about ingathering, the field, labor. These are things we hear. All right, so it says, but when he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad, his sheep having no shepherd. Then said he unto his Talmudim, the disciples, what did he say? The harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore, Yahuwah of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Who is the harvest?
People.
Okay. Well, the field is going to be the world, and the harvest is the people. Okay. So you see where this labor is going to be in his field to get the people. The people is the harvest. Everyone's with me so far? All right, great. Jump down to chapter 13, verse 36. Okay. So it says, then Yashra'al sent the multitude away, and went into the house, and his Talmudim or his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. And he answered, said unto them, he that sows the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are the Malakim, or the messengers coming, called the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his Malakim, his messengers, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity. What is iniquity? Lawlessness, transgression of the law, right? I got to remove them out of his people. See what I mean? So thinking it's done away with, well, we already have that story. We'll keep going, verse 42. And he shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who has an ear to hear, let them hear. Okay? So everyone sees field, harvest, labor. Everyone saw these things, right? All right, let's move on to gathering. Let's look at Revelation chapter 14, verse 6, 7, and then we'll jump down to verse 13 through 19. Okay. Revelation 14, 6. That's the last book. Right, how we doing? Doing good? All right. It says, and I saw another Malakim, or messenger come from an angel, fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting good news to preach unto them that dwell on earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, fear Elohim and give his him that made heaven and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of water. Jump down to verse 13. And I heard a voice from heaven, saying unto me, Right blessed are the dead which died in Yahuwah from henceforth. Yea, said the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Okay, your works do follow you. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, in his hand a sharp sickle. And another Malachim, or messenger, came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in your sickle, and reap, for the time is come for you to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another Malach, or messenger, came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another Malach came from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud voice to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in your sharp sickle, and do what? Gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. And the Malach thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast into a great wine press of the wrath of Elohim. Now, I don't know how many people want to be a part of this wrath, but understand, if you're not a part of the true vine, and we are the branches, you're going to have a problem. If you're not paying attention to signs, as it says in Thessalonians, we know the times and the seasons, so this day going to take us as a thief in the night. If you're not paying attention, you will be a part of that wrath. Okay? Revelation 16:12 through 16. Then we'll go back to Bamidbar, Numbers. So Revelation 16:12 through 16. It says, And the sixth month poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world, to gather them to the battle of the great day of Elohim Almighty. And he gathered them together in a place called in Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Okay? So I want you to understand there are going to be 2 types of gathering. You just need to figure out which one you want to be a part of. Alright? If you want to be a part of the Most High's gathering, then there's some requirements that has to take place. Right? If you meet those requirements, you might be spared from the hour of temptation. Okay? If not, if you want to be gathered with the dragon, no worries. For then will be the time where you have a problem. Okay? So I'm not looking for that gathering. I'm looking for the Most High's gathering. Now the Most High has several gatherings. I want you to think this is all one shot, one kill. Okay? So he has a specific gathering at specific times. The adversary, on the other hand, he's trying to gather his people up. All right? And so how would you know? I know none of us are here. I know that for sure, because we're here today to celebrate Most High's will, right? So my point, though, is how would you be part of the adversary's gathering?
Mark.
Huh?
Mark.
Mark?
Receiving Mark.
Okay, receiving Mark. How else would you be a part of his gathering? Completely disregard the commandments?
On his time, on his Moedim.
On the adversary's time or
Yeah,
days?
celebrating like those feast days.
Or be like Christmas and Halloween, you know, like that. What are, hypothetically, what are the colors of Halloween? Orange? Oh. Hey, process. I understand that. All right. So just keep in mind, though, that, we need to understand that in the adversary's